Assassin's Creed Syndicate got an update. Sony is preparing a major acquisition. We can look forward to new Black Myth Wukong stuff, and there's way more gaming news to go over. So sit back and let's go. Yes, maybe you heard it already, but Sony sent a letter of intent to acquire Kadokawa, one of Japanese biggest media groups that owns From Software. Spike Chunsoft, the studio most recently responsible for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, that is by the way already the best-selling Dragon Ball game ever in the US, and also the third biggest launch for Bandai Namco ever, only behind Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring, which is wild. Kadokawa also owns Acquire, the studio that just released Mario and Luigi Brothership and also made things like Octopath Traveler 2. But Kadokawa is way more than just gaming. This is the Wikipedia section where we see Japanese magazines, film studios, anime. To put it in perspective, gaming was only 12% of their revenue, but it did contribute to almost a third of the overall operating profit. So basically, Sony will be buying a ton of subsidiaries that are not making a lot of money, and because of the Japanese employee protection law, they cannot easily get rid of those people either. Like, I'm not saying that Japanese employee protection law is bad or anything, I'm just pointing out that there are way more layers to this potential acquisition than you might expect. Now, I of course want to focus on the game aspect, because it would be a huge get for any publisher to own From Software. I know people will then immediately jump to Bloodborne with PlayStation, like a reminder that Sony does own the IP already, but somehow still seems unable to do anything with it. And this might be because of From Software, so this could change when they own them. But I would like to remind people that Bloodborne is not as big as we in our gaming bubble might think. Thanks to the Insomniac leak, we learned that Bloodborne sold 7.5 million copies, which is slightly more than Days Gone, and of course Sony did not want to continue Days Gone because it wasn't a success in their eyes. For comparison, Elden Ring sold almost double that in 5 weeks. Now sure, that was on multiple platforms and in a different time, but my point is that it might be more lucrative that if Sony owns From Software to have them make Elden Ring 2 or another new IP that could sell more than a potential Bloodborne 2. Although they would of course be 100% leaving money on the table by not at least remaking Bloodborne and launching it on PC. Now I don't think that if this acquisition goes through, we will not see the From Software games on PC anymore. Maybe they will not come to Xbox, but apart from that, I don't see much change. Let me know what you think of course in the comments, and I will keep you posted on if this deal goes through. Now let's look at the Assassin's Creed Syndicate patch, Wukong news, and way more. But first, an insane deal on the best gaming monitors out there from LG. You totally need to get used to it a bit, but you then quickly realize that the 21:9 ratio and the 800 radius is really great, because it really surrounds your vision and lets you lose yourself in the game when you sit in front of it. The monitor has a 240Hz refresh rate and a 0.03 ms reaction time. It also features both AMD FreeSync Premium Pro and Nvidia G-Sync for a tear-free and flickering-free experience. This is pretty cool. So the monitor has the brightest OLED screen thanks to LG's WOLED panel and the MLA Plus technology. And I love the extra features the monitor has as well that lets you see the frame rate and resolution of the game you're playing. And again, there's a huge deal going on for a limited time if you click the special link in the video description. This 34GS95QT that I'm using dropped by $500. Almost 40% off. And also the 39-inch and 45-inch have dropped by 40%. Again, link in the video description, and now let's get back into it. Yes, Black Myth Wukong won Ultimate Game of the Year at the Golden Joystick Awards, while they're already doing Game of the Year awards in November, but either way, this was a community voted prize, and to thank everyone, Feng Ji from Game Science recorded a video that teases the following.
当然，你有可能早就通关了我们的游戏，那也没关系。我希望你能继续关注我们，也许今年年底还会有一些惊喜。
Like him specifically saying that it's for people who already finished the game has me hopeful for a patch with some fun new content, or at least a good reason to boot the game up again, while an actual expansion seems to be further away. And I can totally see this be an announcement at the Game Awards on December 12th. Like, the game has also been nominated for Game of the Year, which is awesome to see. Now, there are some rumblings that this could just be a physical book with journal entries, but that would be a weird thing to tease for people who already finished the game. Plus, they said surprises plural, so I'm totally expecting more. Of course, let me know what you hope to see in the comments down below, and I will of course keep you posted here. I'm really surprised by how often I still use my PlayStation Portal. Like, there are some games that you just don't really need to play on the big screen, so then this device is perfect. I use it mostly in the bathtub, but don't try that at home. And well, this week the device got even better, because you can now stream over 120 PS5 games from the PS Plus game catalog in 1080p and 60 FPS, and that's really perfect for the device, with some pretty big titles are included as well. And yeah, you don't need a PlayStation 5 for this anymore, while normally it of course only did remote play. So it's more the promise of this. Like, right now it's in beta, you do need a PlayStation Plus premium subscription, but you would think that in the future people can just get this device for like $200, maybe a PS Plus like regular subscription, or go to the PlayStation Store and buy, say, GTA 6 and then stream it to the device. So for $250, $60, you can play GTA 6 without needing the $500 console. I think that's pretty interesting. It lowers the barrier to entry. We of course have to wait and see how it goes, but the streaming works really, really well. Of course, if you liked the video so far, leave a like, that would really help me out, and subscribe, because we post one of these gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. Yes, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is now 60 FPS on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and it looks better too. Like, this is some of the footage I recorded on PS5 Pro compared to PS5 before the update. It's kind of wild how sharp the game now is, and of course the 60 FPS is amazing, so totally a good reason to at least boot up the game again, I would say. It's interesting that Ubisoft picked Syndicate over Unity, that is also still locked at 30 FPS on PS5. It is 60 on Xbox. Maybe they want to put the spotlight on Syndicate, because we of course get Shadow soon, which also has 2 protagonists and is made by the same team. And Syndicate is also still the only relatively recent AC game that did not sell 10 million, so giving it more love makes sense. And it totally still holds up, especially riding around the city is actually still very impressive. So let me know if you'll be jumping back in the comments down below, and fingers crossed that we get Unity in 60 FPS on PS5 as well. Now, a quick little segment I wanted to do is on Remedy. They make, of course, extremely high-rated games, with Control being an 85 on Metacritic, Alan Wake 2 being even higher at 89. But that game, for example, only sold 1.8 million units in a year. Like, they haven't even made a profit yet on that game, which is wild for a Game of the Year contender. Control was for many the best game of 2019, and that now sold 4.5 million units, and 19 million people in total played it if you count Game Pass and PS Plus. Which is great, so they're obviously making Control 2, but they now said that they need to sell 3 to 4 million copies before the game will become profitable. So it has to do as well as the first game that really came out in a time where people were kind of hungry for new titles. Things have kind of changed, and they're changing the game now as well to an action RPG instead of the first game that was more of an action adventure game. They say that for an action RPG, there's a bigger market. I'm curious if that's going to work out for them. Also, their new PvE co-op shooter, FBC Firebreak, that was recently announced and looks pretty decent. It's also in the Control universe. Like, that game needs to sell 3 million units before it becomes profitable, as they are selling it for a mid price. It will, by the way, also be on PlayStation Plus and Game Pass day one, so I'm curious if that money is counted here already. But yeah, these games tend to either flop big time or have a very small chance of being a huge success. So I have a hard time seeing this all work out, and again, as like a fan of this studio, and as I think a very important player in the gaming industry that really seems to be focused on quality and deliver quality at a consistent basis, I'm kind of worried that I don't think this Control universe is going to pay off as much as they hope. Now, they're also doing a Max Payne 1 and 2 remake for Rockstar, which I do think will be a sure win. But overall, I think Remedy would be like perfect under a PlayStation or other publisher for more security. And that they can maybe like make a game based on a way more popular IP, like a superhero title or a new Infamous or something. Imagine that. This coming week I will be posting a bit more on my new JorRaptor React channel. Thanks to everyone who already checked it out and subscribed. The support has been really awesome. I will leave a link to it in the video description. I will have a big Assassin's Creed Shadows video on the main channel here, so stay tuned. We got lots to go over. Ubisoft will probably also showcase new gameplay this week based on Yasuke's combat. So I will of course be posting that. Stay tuned. And we will have more content with a big gaming news roundup like this on Sunday. So subscribe to not miss it. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out our big Star Wars Outlaws update video on the many changes they added to the game. Is it way better now? You will have to figure that out by watching the video. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.